Can you hear me? Hello. Can you hear me? Okay, great. So, yeah, I'm not perfect, all right, and I understand that you're not perfect either, and each and every one of us, we are just trying our best to be the kind of man that the society expects us to be, and that can be some Herculean task, that can be serious, um, some serious issues, all right, for us as men. All right. And so I don't want you to think that you are the only one who is not perfect, or that you have done something, or you're not, or you feel bad that you're not matching up with how things should be. No, I don't want you to think that way. Instead, I want you to see that you are not alone on this particular journey of trying to be a high value man. So I'm also on that journey. I'm also not there yet of being a high value man. All right. So whatever I'm sharing with you today, I'm also going to be telling myself as well. So I'm sharing with you from things that I've read, notes that I've taken, and I thought I shouldn't learn this alone. And so I want to share with you as well. So welcome on board once again as we learn together. Okay, so let's get on to some business. So my question to you is, do you know how to better yourself? Do you know how to be a better person than what you are right now? Now, perfection is an impossible benchmark. All right, perfection is an impossible benchmark, and that means an impossible benchmark to reach, basically. All right, an impossible benchmark to reach. Okay, however, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't strive to achieve anything. After all, it's better to go the extra mile, all right, than to resign to mediocrity. It's better to go the extra mile than to resign to mediocrity. So in this video, we'll be looking at 7 ways you can go the extra mile to become a high value man. 7 ways you can go the extra mile in order to become a high value man in 2022. So number one, let's get to it. Become a high value man with purpose. So you need to be a man with purpose. What exactly is your purpose? All right. So you need to be a high value man with purpose. You need to be a high value man that has something, all right, that is contributing, okay, to those around him. So let me share with you what I have here. The first step in becoming a high value man is knowing what you want from life. All right. It doesn't matter whether you're a young guy starting his first job or the CEO of a multi-million-dollar company. Every man should have a goal that he wants to achieve by this time next year. So I don't know what your goal is that you want to achieve by this time next year. All right. But I don't want to be at the same level as I am right now. So I don't know about you. All right. But you see, the goal is that everyone must have a goal where they want to be after a certain time. So I don't know where you want to be at a certain point of your life. I don't know what you want to achieve at a certain time of your life. I don't know where you want to be um, in some weeks or some months from now. All right. But you see, it's very important, okay, that you ask yourself and that you get on that journey of who you really want to be. All right. Because it is when you have all these in store, all right, that you can tell yourself that this is really what you want to become. Right. And so it's very important that you set your mind on that. All right. Be a man of high value. Be a man of high value. Be that man that everyone, can say yes, even if it's not, even if he's not there yet. is doing his very best to be there with that man that you can say, you know what, this is what I want to achieve, or this is where I want to be in a year's time. This is where I want to be in few years' time, and everybody can say, yes, indeed, this or that is the journey where this man wants to really be. Otherwise, you just realize that you will just be jumping from pillar to post. All right. So having a purpose is about having personal standards and a desire to improve upon what you already have in your skill set constantly. All right. So you already have this thing, you already have it, you already know it, but you're improving on it. You want to become better at it. All right. So I'm saying a high value man with a purpose understand his successes, works to improve on his flaws, and at all times demonstrates good personal standards. Having a purpose is about having a personal standard, all right, and a desire to improve upon what you already have in your skill set constantly. Also, having a high value man with a purpose, understand his successes, works to improve on his flaws, and at all times demonstrate good personal standards. All right. So become this man, and you will have far greater understanding of the journey ahead of you. So the next one is that you demonstrate resilience. Now, we are expected to demonstrate resilience, especially as men. All right, people want us to demonstrate resilience. People want us to now resilience is not the same as appearing tough. Okay, there are two different things. All right, resilience basically means that whatever comes your way, all right, you're pulling through. Okay, holding yourself you're holding yourself tight. All right, things are tough, but you keep going. Okay, things are tough, but you keep going. You aren't giving up. You keep going. You keep going. Okay, so what does resilience say here? A man needs to be strong for his family, his colleagues, and for himself. Now, I'm not talking about physical strength. I'm talking about emotional and social strength. Now, an individual's ability to keep his chin up in the face of adversity and work through the hard times rather than cower beneath them. Knowing how to better yourself in this way is a great starting point for most men. And it's not about becoming Superman overnight, it's all about working towards a resilient frame of mind. Right. So maybe you want to support your partner through times at work. Maybe you want to become the rock at your church so that people turn to you when the chips are down. Whatever it is, the fact remains that a man should be able to show strength when the occasion calls for it. All right. So yes, hold your head high, show strength. But hey, if you also need to cry, if you also need to shed a tear or two, feel free to. And most importantly, like I say to people, do not hide under the guise of I am a man. No. If and then you keep feeling down and you're not sharing what's happening with people. So if at any point in time while doing all of this, you feel you are emotionally down and you need to let it out, please have someone that you can let it out to. Okay? Communicate well as a high value man. This is very critical, and I'm learning this as well. A real life example that a lot of men struggle with is how to communicate through text. All right, for instance, an email that you think sounds like friendly banter might sound aggressive and sarcastic to the recipient. So, a high value man can communicate appropriately, which means reading the room and understanding what is and isn't appropriate with his current environment. A good set of rules to stick by are: one, avoid banter at the office, keep it strictly business. Always politely clarify your meaning if understandings occur. And three, speak clearly and use correct English whenever communicating with someone you don't know all that well. So that's about communicating well. So you need to communicate well if you're a high value man. Right. So number four is foster healthy relationships. Now, relationships are very critical to our lives as human beings. We need to maintain such relationships. There is nothing more dangerous to a man's state of mind than a toxic relationship. Okay. As human beings, we tend to be very impressionable when it comes to other people's emotion. Right. When it comes to other people's emotions, we have a tendency to be very impressionable. Okay. In fact, psychologist Hess and Fisher's study of emotional mimicry, a particular book that says when, why, and when we mimic emotions, suggests the following: the perception of a specific emotion display leads to the imitation of that display. I'll take that again. The perception, right? The perception of a specific emotion display leads to the emotion of that display. And this can be a problem for any man striving to be the best version of himself. You may be the cheeriest guy on your block, but if you surround yourself with negative people, chances are you'll begin to take on some of that negative emotion yourself. The best way to avoid this is simple. Ensure that all of your relationships are healthy and emotionally beneficial. So you need to have an understanding of how to better yourself through careful consideration of your relationships, because that's very key. Right, that's very key to your becoming that high value man that you want to be. So what are some of the steps that you can take? Ensure that you keep conversations as simple as possible or as positive as possible. Engage in relationships that make you happy. Engage in relationships that make you happy, and don't be afraid to help boost the emotions of others with a positive outlook. All right. So gain valuable resources. Yes. Gain valuable resources. Okay, so I'm going to share with you. So I prepared this. So let me take you to number five. Where is my number five? Uh, so number five talks about gain valuable resources, right? So earning a ton of money is one solution many men approach when considering how to better themselves. However, money isn't everything, and on its own, it rarely brings complete happiness. A man that consistently learns new things is a man that will consistently succeed in new ways. A man that consistently learns new things is a man that will consistently succeed in new ways. So you need to ace up that up and coming interview, do your research and learn about the company. Do you need to have your tire properly fitted to your car? Research on how to do that. And so here's the thing: you improvise, you adapt, and you overcome. And that's a saying in the marine. So you need to be that man who is what? Who gains valuable resources. And of course, you need to be consistent. That's point number six. You need to be consistent. Consistency is key. Another word for consistency here could be stability, right? To present yourself as that high value man, people need to know that they can rely on you. All right. So let me ask you this question: would you feel safe driving a car where the brakes only work 50% of the time? Or would you feel safe driving a car where the brake works all the time? So definitely you and I know that you feel safe driving a car where the brake works all the time. So you don't have to begin to think uh, if your brakes would fail or not, basically. So you need to um, um, you know you need to be at that point where you are sure that you're really giving something, all right, giving something out, you're stable, okay, you're not flaky and, and unreliable, all right, and you have to keep that winning mentality, keep that winning mentality. Number seven, command presence as a high value man. It's very important to command presence as a high value man. Very, very important. Very, very important to command that presence. All right. So commanding respect can come in many ways. Your personal style, the way you talk, and how you hold yourself in day-to-day life. And it's all about confidence. Learn how to command respect by dressing with confidence, speaking with confidence, and moving with confidence. So at the end of the day, it takes a very open-minded man to consider his own downfalls and recognize where he needs to make improvement. Okay, so it's often important, all right, that you find yourself at that point or you position yourself at that point where you're constantly learning and you're improving yourself. That way you're not stagnant, and that way you can really, really, really be a high value man. Okay, so that's it basically. So go out there, be a value man, be that man that people can beat their chest to say, yes, I know this person. All right. So as you watch this, you have questions, please don't hesitate to ask them. All right. And to subscribe as well. Thank you.